Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're here again to really get into the sources you provide. Today, we're looking at something fascinating you sent over BubaKo Jadi Buti Chiya. We've got materials covering its reviews, the ingredients, the benefits people talk about, and this whole idea of overall well-being. So our mission really is to figure out what makes this tea special. What's the story here beyond just the label? Okay, let's unpack this a bit. Imagine waking up to a cup of BubaKo Jadi Buti Chiya, this once guarded family remedy.
Yeah, and what's really insightful, looking at your sources, is how that old family tradition didn't just stay in the past. It's kind of been reborn. It's become this community morning ritual, almost. Yeah. The materials even call it a potential transformational tea. So it's more than just a drink, it seems. It's bridging this deep tradition with really widespread modern use. That's a pretty interesting shift, isn't it? How these old remedies are finding a place now.
Absolutely. And when we look at how that transformation is happening, the ingredients seem, well, central. Your sources list over 40 botanicals. 40, hand-selected apparently, sourced from 5 continents, then blended in these micro batches. They say it preserves their living vitality. That just sounds like a massive effort. Does your look at the sources shed light on maybe the challenges or innovations behind that kind of complexity?
That's a really good question. Your notes definitely highlight things like sun-dried at source and laboratory tested for purity. That points to, well, a pretty rigorous quality control. You don't always see that with globally sourced stuff.
Right.
And what also stood out to me was the slow tumble by master blenders in Colorado's part. It suggests it's not just about mixing things together. It's about, like, locking in those volatile oils that often get lost in, standard tea processing. It hints at a focus on bioavailability, maybe a deeper science behind the tradition than you'd first think.
And that careful process, it seems like it creates more than just potency, it creates an experience. The sources talk about an aroma, unfolds like an alpine dawn, and that's pretty evocative language.
It is, yeah.
It really speaks to that sensory side, which your sources seem to say is a big part of the daily ritual, not just the health stuff. Now, you can sort of choose your path with this tea, can't you? There are different additions mentioned.
That's right. 3 meticulously calibrated additions, as they put it. You start with the premium blend that seems foundational. Cleansing, energy, uses classics like green tea, lemongrass.
Yeah. Okay.
Then you move up to super premium. And this one seems to offer more targeted benefits. Things like milk thistle for liver support, gotu kola for, well, brain nourishment, they say, and saffron for mood. It gets more specific.
Right, honing in. But then as your sources lay out, the ultra premium, that's positioned as the top tier, crown jewel.
Exactly.
This one combines some really rare sounding botanicals, Himalayan nettle, Peruvian maca, Korean red ginseng, creating what they describe as a velvety elixir, packed with antioxidants, adaptogens, anti-inflammatories, the works, basically.
And this is where the reported benefits get, well, quite compelling. Your materials mention longtime users of the ultra-premium blend. They swear it's helped with things like lowering cholesterol, easing migraines, soothing joints, and even lengthening telomeres, those protective caps on DNA linked to aging.
Cellular aging.
Yeah, so it points towards a potential impact that's really fundamental, aiming for that comprehensive well-being.
And what's interesting, too, is how your sources detail the way it fits into the whole day. Not just a morning thing. Like, it's caffeine balanced, enough to clear the fog, but gentle on the adrenals. Plus, prebiotic fibers for gut health, digestive bitters, mild diuretics for flushing toxins. It all seems designed to work together.
That really underscores the holistic point you mentioned earlier. From the sources, it's not just physical. The blend weaves in mood support with saffron, maybe neuroregeneration with gotu kola for emotional resilience.
I see.
And then you've got ginger, tulsi, mint for cardiovascular stuff, and antimicrobials like clove, cinnamon, holy basil for the immune system. The approach detailed in your notes, it really does seem to cover well-being from, well, multiple angles.
And the feedback seems to reflect that. The reviews you shared, over 600 families mentioned, countless 5-star ratings, and this growing group of nutritionists calling it a daily non-negotiable. That kind of consistent positive response. It's pretty remarkable.
It really suggests that this combination, centuries of herbal knowledge made easy to brew, has genuinely struck a chord. It sort of transforms wellness, doesn't it? From maybe feeling like a chore into something simple, inviting, like a tasty daily habit.
So pulling it all together, BubaKo Jadi Buti Chiya, based on your sources, looks like this compelling mix of deep tradition, really careful crafting, and these wide-ranging holistic benefits. It makes that idea of well-being feel well, achievable, even delicious. Thank you for sharing these sources and letting us dive deep into this with you. We definitely encourage you to keep doing your own deep dives into what works for your well-being.
And perhaps this leaves you with something to think about. What does it really mean for our everyday lives, our routines, when centuries of herbal wisdom become this effortless, accessible thing for modern living?
Sip the magic. Awaken your senses.